My name is Kendra Lednicki. I am the owner of CrossFit Fireside along with my husband, Joe. I have my Precision Nutrition Level 1 certification, CrossFit Level 2 trainer, pre and postpartum certification, amongst others. I love helping people, obviously, get more fit and healthy. So thanks for being here today. Our goal, oops, see, I didn't practice this part. Cool. Our goal today is to understand foundational nutrition principles that you can easily apply to your life. So nutrition is not as complicated as the Instagram influencers and the Facebook ads want you to think. The reality is we have more information than ever when it comes to nutrition. We have more gyms and more products and more experts, but we as Americans are growing more and more obese and sedentary and sick. The CDC says that 100 million adults in America and 14 million children are obese. And so our mission here at CrossFit Fireside is to fight against that. We want to take you from sickness to wellness and help you live your life to the fullest, especially as we grow older. So I want to start with our why. And just pause for a second, and I want you to think, why are you here? Some of you are here because you want a six-pack. That's awesome. I like chocolate chip cookies way too much, so I will probably not have a six-pack in my life. Some of you want that. That's awesome. Some of you are here because your grandmother just got diagnosed with diabetes, and you want to fight against that. Some of you are here because you want to feel better and have more energy. Some of you are here to model a healthy lifestyle for your kids. So I just want you to think about your why for a second, because when things get hard, and they will with nutrition, because it's really, really, really difficult to change our nutrition habits, we always have to go back to our why. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Why is it important to me? Because it takes a lot of work, but it's super worth it. My why, I have to keep up with my psychopath of a toddler. He's crazy. I found him yesterday. I was working on this, so I just let him play on his own. He was outside. He had opened our fire pit and was throwing the fire pit rocks like at our neighbors that were outside, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So that's my why. Hopefully you can think of your own why as well. All right, this is a theoretical hierarchy of development in CrossFit. So basically what this means is that if we're not looking at an athlete's diet, if we're not looking at this foundation of nutrition, then what we do in here doesn't really matter. Nutrition is going to support our metabolic conditioning, which is then going to move us into gymnastics and weightlifting, and then we will have achieved the sport of fitness. This to me as a business owner means that nutrition matters. I want to look my best, and there's nothing wrong with that. I want to feel my best. I want to live my life to the fullest. I love this because when I can't get a workout in, which is more common than you think, even though I'm literally in here all the time, I can focus on my nutrition. And that to me is really, really encouraging. All right. So, like I said, hi. The reality is that nutrition is simple, but compliance in everyday life is not. Long-term compliance over months and months and years is even harder, and that's the kind of compliance that we have to see for long-term results. Compliance is hard because jobs get in the way, kids really get in the way, our schedule gets in the way, our culture. Food is how we unwind and how we celebrate and how we have fun. Joe and I love to go out to eat and have a drink and then another drink and then an appetizer and then it's another appetizer, and it just keeps going, right? But there's nothing wrong with that. But within that framework, we can apply these nutrition principles that I'm going to talk through in a second so that you can see success in the gym, see success with your body composition goals, but also live your life. So, I don't know about you, but when I go to the store, this is often what I see. Processed foods are everywhere, and they're literally laboratory tested to be delicious and for us to not to be able to stop eating them, right? The double stuffed Oreo did not happen by accident. They're like, oh, I wonder if we just put this cookie and this frosting and people won't be able to stop eating it. Like, they tested that. And so that's why it's really hard to resist these things. When we go to the craft store, like, I'm just picking up some markers for my kiddo and I come across this. I went to Les Schwab yesterday. They even have treats. It's just inescapable. For those of you that work in an office, it makes it even harder. People comment when you do eat something or when you don't eat something. You feel isolated when coworkers go to lunch and you're like, well, I guess I'll bring my Tupperware. You're sitting all day at the computer, and that really doesn't help either. So the odds are really stacked against us. The end result is we constantly feel like we're depriving ourselves. We punish ourselves for eating maybe things like this. We are starving at the end of the day and eat everything in sight, and it's just this really difficult cycle to break. Our hope today, my hope today, is that you gain some knowledge and strategies to fight against that. So we're going to go back to our goal, and that's to understand foundational nutrition principles that you can easily apply to your life. When we understand these 3 principles, we can design a diet that fits into our current lifestyle, that fits into your culture, that fits into the foods that you love to eat, that fits into your social life, and it results in freedom. So what often happens is people get the notion that they want to start a diet tomorrow, and then they over-restrict. They go too hard too fast. It's not sustainable. That's what we call yo-yo dieting, right? I think that we've all been there. Oh, I'll start tomorrow. Oh, I screwed up. I'll start on Monday. And we never get to experience freedom, but I want you to be able to have food freedom, to not feel like you're restricted, to feel like you're full and fuel your body. Okay, I forgot her name. Daenerys? Khaleesi? Daenerys? I just felt like she embodied what I'm going for. I feel like she's my spirit animal. So having a plan gives you freedom in your nutrition choices. You can go to a birthday party and have an idea of what to fuel your body with. You can plan and prep for a busy week so that you're not running to McDonald's at 9 at night because you haven't eaten all day. You can live a long, active life as you age. So we're going to dive in a little bit more, and I'm going to give you some practical examples along the way of what these principles look like and how you can apply them. So first, the calories you eat, the quantity, determines your weight. The second, the macronutrients you eat determines your body composition. And if you've never heard the word macronutrient, don't worry, we're going to go into it. The third principle, the quality of your food determines your health. So we're going to go to that first principle here. The calories you eat or the quantity determines your weight. So all diets control this to varying levels of precision. When we eat more calories than we use, we're going to gain weight. When we eat less calories than we use, we're going to lose weight. Throughout the last few years, maybe even the last decade, paleo has become really popular, right? And people have said, well, if you eat paleo pancakes, those calories don't count, they're paleo. Or if you have a protein cookie, those calories don't count, that's healthy for you. Those calories always count. Calories are always going to be the number one factor in weight loss or weight gain. Same thing with intermittent fasting that's really popular right now. The main reason that works is because you're restricting calories, right? If Joe comes to me and he says, gosh, I do well throughout the day, and then I get home and I have a cocktail, and then I have popcorn, and then I have a cookie, and I just eat all night. Well, if I then say, well, great, you can eat from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., right? Now we're intermittent fasting. I'm going to take away those calories, and he's going to lose weight as a result. So that's that main factor for why people have found a lot of success, with that diet. But when we only consider the calories, we often end up hungry and craving everything, which is where macros come in. So if you've ever had the experience of getting into MyFitnessPal, it tells you, hey, if you want to lose X amount of weight in this amount of time, you need to eat 1,200 calories a day, and then you're starving and it just doesn't work. We have to bring macros into the picture. So here's my sample day. These are not my carbs or protein. I just threw this up as an example. Option one, I was super busy, right? So I had a chocolate chip muffin because it was Teacher Appreciation Day. I used to be a high school teacher. They love to feed us rather than pay us more. So I don't know. I don't know the logic there. I had Coffee Mate in my coffee. I like the coffee that I drink to be the color of my skin. So that's a lot of Coffee Mate. Like I'm talking we're going through bottles a week, right? And then I had a banana because I know some things about health and fitness and I should probably eat a banana. During lunch, I had kids in my room and they were asking me questions. I didn't pack a lunch, so I just skipped it. I also felt guilty about the muffin, to be honest. So I was like, well, we'll just slide right through lunch and make up for that. But then we had community group that night and we were racing out the door and I had Chick-fil-A. But because I hadn't eaten since 7 a.m. that morning with my muffin and my coffee and my banana, I was starving. So I had a Chick-fil-A sandwich, large fry, large root beer, and 2 Chick-fil-A sauces. That is my order. I live at 5386, I'm just kidding. So that's one option, right? And I'm hungry, I'm tired, I'm not feeling great, my workout sucked, not a great overall option. Then option 2 is when I planned and I prepared my meal and I focused on my macronutrients. And I had protein oatmeal. I put 2% milk in my coffee rather than Coffee Mate, which saved me some calories. I had eggs and egg whites and then some ketchup with that. I had my meal prep Korean beef bowls, which is headed to your inbox. We've been devouring those lately. I had a bubbly and Greek yogurt parfait. This is what I call my cracked chicken baked potato. Delicious and super filling. And then I had Boom Chicka Pop because I have a wicked sweet tooth at night. The Costco bag of Boom Chicka Pop doesn't last in our house. It's a little embarrassing. But I just want you to see the calorie difference here. So my goal was 2,000. Over here, I went 614 over that. Over here, I'm under that. But look at all the food that I was able to eat because I was paying attention to my macros, I was paying attention to my food choices, and I had planned and prepped. My macronutrients, which we're gonna get into next, also changed, right? If I'm an athlete and I'm trying to gain lean mass and look and feel good and toned, I need to focus on my protein. Option 1, I had 47 grams of protein. Option 2, I had 140 grams, so 100 grams more. And then carbs, about 100 gram difference there. The fat though, huge difference there. So when I get into that macro breakdown, that's where we're gonna see body composition changes. So I have met principle number 1 here, right? I was under my caloric total, and that's gonna determine my weight. Cool. We good so far? Okay. Okay, so I already talked through what the difference was here. Hopefully that illustrated for you that yes, calories matter most, but then we also have to pay attention to those macronutrients. So we've pretty much covered the calories you eat, the quantity of the food determines your weight, and we're gonna move to the macronutrients you eat determines your body composition. Body composition matters, muscle mass, because it determines how we look and feel, especially as we age. So people that are focused on muscle mass, especially women, they're gonna appear tighter and firmer and more toned. Guys are going to appear stronger and larger, more athletic. Muscle growth improves our function, right? As we age, we have to be able to get off the floor if we fall. We have to be able to pick up our groceries and put them on the shelf. When we have more muscle mass, we burn more calories just sitting down. It's a really expensive tissue to keep on our bodies. And then from a health perspective, advancing age is associated with loss of mass, muscle mass, and the strength of your muscles is a predictor of survival. So if we can retain muscle mass, if we can stay strong as we grow older, we're more likely to survive longer and have a better, more fulfilling life. So how do we do it? How do we gain muscle mass so we look good, function optimally, and age well? We have to strength train, which good news, most of you are already doing that. And we have to focus on those macronutrients. So here are the macros made very, 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 very simple, okay? Protein equals muscle. We need to eat protein to build muscle mass and to keep our muscle mass. Carbs are energy. So if you have ever come in here and you haven't eaten all day and you just like hit a wall and you're like, whoa, it's probably because your carbs were really light that day. There wasn't a ton of energy for your body to use. And then fat is going to be a longer energy source. It's just really important for health as well. So again, this is a huge oversimplification, and I will send you more later. But these are the 3 macronutrients that I am talking about. I also like this car analogy. So you can think of protein as the structure of the car, carbs are the gas and will give you fuel, and then fat is the oil. Okay, we don't want to be overheated on the side of the road smoking. That would be very bad. And we had to throw in Ferris Bueller. It's just such a good movie. I tried to make this entertaining, and my way was with the gifts. So, all right. So our general recommendation when it comes to macronutrients is that 40% of your calories come from carbs. When I say carbs, we're looking for fruits and vegetables and breads and rice. 30% of your calories are ideally coming from protein, and hopefully lean protein. And I'll show you why that makes a difference in a second. And then 30% of your calories are from fat. So when you saw my breakdown of the 2,000 calories, that was that percentage. I had 40% of them were from carbs, 30% are from protein, and then 30% are from fat. Huh. That's not where I wanted to be. You guys, you're getting a sneak peek. Here we go. Okay. So when I say lean protein sources, this is what I mean. It's not that these protein sources are bad, but when I'm trying to hit a certain protein number, and if I try and hit that protein number with bacon and eggs and sausage and pork belly and filet mignon, while delicious, I'm going to break principle number 1, right, which is calories determine your body weight. And I'm going to break principle number 2, which is macronutrients determine your body composition, right? Because I'm going to be at 150 grams of protein, but if I'm taking out of this category the highest fat, I'm going to be probably in the 3,000 calorie range and lots of fat, right? So ideally, when I say a lean protein source, I'm talking about 7 grams of protein for every 10 calories that you eat. So if you think of an egg, a lot of people think that eggs are a protein source. And while that is true, they also are a very high fat source. So 1 egg is 6 grams of protein and 5 grams of fat. So if I have 4 eggs, what's 4 times 6? 24? 24 grams of protein and then 20 grams of fat, I'm not going to have much left for the rest of my day, and that's going to restrict me. Okay, so we're focusing on the leaner sources. So egg whites, chicken breast, pork chop, cottage cheese is really delicious, especially if you put like some jam in it. Shrimp, we eat shrimp all the time. Obviously, chicken breast, we eat that all the time as well. Okay, so the goal is good enough and not perfection. So I just want to go back here. I wasn't absolutely 100% on my target, right? But that's awesome. I mostly hit it. You don't need to be sitting on your couch at night eating dry chicken breast just to hit your protein goal. We want to be within the relative range, right? But we don't need to be super crazy about it, because when we focus on perfection, we tend to spiral, right? And that's just not life. Focusing on perfection makes us say, I'll just start again on Monday. I already screwed up at breakfast. I'll just try again tomorrow. I'm not making any progress. So I really want you to have a growth mindset and focus on those little wins. If what you do in this challenge is swap soda out and put water in, that's a huge win. That's a huge, huge, huge win. If what you do in this challenge is just add in more fruits and vegetables to your diet, that's also a huge win. Are we gonna see huge body composition changes because of that? Maybe, maybe not, but health-wise, I think that's super awesome. Okay. We're moving along to the quality of your food determines your health. So when people say high quality food, the implication, right, is that it's a high density of vitamins, minerals, fiber, and phytochemicals. It's important to note that no matter how you do it, weight loss is going to reduce your health risks. Okay, so if our body is at the weight that it should be, your health risks are going to be reduced, but we can fine tune that even more and optimize our health if we can eat as many fruits and vegetables a day as possible. The high quality foods that we are talking about contain tons of micronutrients. They're used for chemical reactions in the body, antioxidants, red blood cell production, electrolytes, immune health, growth and development, health protective compounds. They have tons of fiber, which we need for digestive health. So bottom line, you need to be eating fruits and vegetables for your overall health. They're not only good for you, they're going to keep you full. I'm going to demonstrate that with my buddy, E.C. Sinkowski from Optimize Me Nutrition. She's on Instagram. Make sure and give her a follow. I took her masterclass. It's awesome. She has a podcast, if you're into that, called The Consistency Project. So I love this because it demonstrates the two principles, calories and macros. So this picture, we see a piece of carrot cake. It's worth 850 calories. To get 850 calories from just fruit alone, you would have to eat 1,506 grams of fruit. So you can also look at the weight of that piece of cake. That's 181 grams in weight versus 1,500 grams of fruit, right? And so that just shows that when we choose wholer foods, we're gonna feel fuller longer. We're gonna feel and be healthier. I likely would go back for a second piece of carrot cake. I don't know about you, but when I open the door of like the sweet train, it doesn't stop, right? Like the mini Costco cookies. Have you all had those? Delicious. Can't stop eating them, right? Or if you gave me 1,500 grams of fruit, I probably wouldn't eat it all. There's no way, right? This second picture, one side it says I'm hungry and one side it says I'm full. I want you to see she chose a protein cookie, which not the worst option, not the best option, certainly better than a regular cookie, right? When we're looking at the macros. 250 calories for the cookie, 15 grams of protein, and 59 grams in total weight. And then she made the equivalent in food. So they're the same calories, generally the same protein, 21 grams of protein, but 400 grams of total weight. So after you eat the protein cookie, even when it's the exact same caloric value, the exact same macronutrient density, you're gonna feel hungry versus all this food. It's gonna feel different in your belly, and it's gonna be different for your brain, right? You're probably eating a protein cookie, jamming out to country music on the way to pick up your kid from soccer, where you're likely eating this sitting down with a fork, you're chewing and you're enjoying your food. And that's going to make a huge difference too. Making sense so far? Cool.
What's the additional calories down at the bottom of that second one there? Is that including 280 grams?
Oh yeah, So she does something called the 800-gram challenge, where you have to eat 800 grams of fruits and vegetables a day. So she's just saying that 280 grams of that weight would count towards that challenge. Yeah. Okay, I have a story to put these principles into play. My husband has a full-time job outside of the gym, and because he's been in the CrossFit world for 10 plus years, he's just the person everyone goes to whenever they have a question. He'll like coach people through push-ups in the middle of the workday. It's a little weird, but it's fine. He had someone come up to him and he's like, "Hey Joe, I lost 10 pounds. Joe was like, "Awesome, that's super cool." And he was like, "But I feel horrible and I'm super constipated." And Joe was like, "Not as cool. What are you eating?" He was eating a protein shake in the morning, 2 protein bars throughout the day, and then he would have chicken and pasta at night. So this is a prime example of how we have to have all 3 principles if we want to optimize our health as much as possible, right? Did he meet principle 1? Yes, he was losing weight, right? It was working because he was controlling his caloric total. Did he meet principle 2? I gave him a green check mark. He was probably pretty close, right? For the challenge, he was probably pretty high up on that protein scale. I also think he has a healthy dose of self-control, because that just doesn't seem fun at all, right? A protein bar all day, every day. That's not life either, right? So likely he might fall off the train and then gain that weight back. So we have to adjust our food habits. Principle 3, the quality of your food determines your health. Definitely not, right? If you're backed up, you're not feeling good. So I just wanted to share that story to illustrate that when we can bring all these 3 together, that's when it's going to be optimal. Will we lose weight if we're just controlling calories? Yes. Will we have better body composition, though, if when we're trying to lose weight, we're paying attention to macronutrients, and will it be more sustainable? Yes. And then if we're choosing whole foods, meaning we get to eat a lot of food, a lot of volume, it's going to be a lot more sustainable. Okay, so those are our 3 nutrition principles. I'm going to give you a few roadmaps here. I want to show you that the Summer Shape Up Challenge was designed to be scalable. So just like our workouts, we're coming in from different starting points, right? Someone's coming in, they're going to do ring rows. Someone else might do pull-ups. Someone else might do kipping pull-ups. Someone else might be doing ring muscle-ups. So we're still on that same track together. So some of you are going to be on this beginner path. You are going to understand basic nutrition principles, and you're going to start applying them to your life, and that's awesome, right? This is really hard and takes time. And so this next 6 weeks, if this is your journey, that's awesome. You're going to pay closer attention to your food choices. You're going to learn from your mistakes, because there's going to be lots of them, but you're going to identify small wins. And then at the end of the challenge, down the road, you're going to form a healthy fitness and nutrition routine. The road is curvy on purpose, right? Nutrition and fitness it's like this, but then we start making progress and we will eventually get there. Okay, so some of you are going to be at that level. Others of you might be at the foundational level, and this is where Joe and I live our everyday lives. We pay attention to our protein and our food choices. We try and get as many workouts in as possible, but we do not track every single thing that we eat. We have before, but for lifelong sustainability, this is a great track to be on. So you have some practice in meal prep and tracking. You will start tracking your lean protein to get a baseline. You'll probably get back into a meal prep and planning routine if you've fallen out of that, and you'll begin to choose higher quality foods and diversify what you eat. Your big thing will be focusing on compliance and consistency, right? If you're on this track, you know what you need to do. You just have to do it, and you have to put in the work, and that's where it's really, really hard. Some of us are RX. We're going to RX the challenge. You're RX if you've tracked and meal prepped before, you've been in the macro world before, this isn't new to you. My recommendation is that you do not download MyFitnessPal or any other macro app and just do what it says, okay? Those apps are going to try and starve you, and it's not going to be sustainable. So what I recommend instead is that if you're choosing this track, the RX track, you weigh and measure everything that you eat normally for 1 week. So you're not changing a single thing, you're just getting a baseline. To maintain Kendra's body composition the way it is right now, how many calories am I eating, how much protein, how much carbs, how much fat, and what is the average throughout the week? From that metric, we can make adjustments. So maybe after tracking for 1 week, you realize, oh, I really wasn't eating that much protein. Or maybe you realize, whoa, I'm eating a lot more fat, like I'm really slathering my toast in butter in the morning. You will eventually weigh and measure everything, and I do recommend that for everyone at some point in their nutrition journey. That's not where we start. I think it's really helpful and useful, and Joe and I will go back to that every once in a while just to when we feel like things are kind of getting off course, that's how we correct it. It's not sustainable in long term for us. For some people, they love it. They find freedom in that. So it's very individual there. For you also, if you're RXing, you're gonna focus on consistency, right? That's what it's all about, and we'll likely see amazing results. Some of us are fire breathers, okay? And think of it like the gym, right? A lot of us aren't fire breathers in the gym. A lot of us aren't gonna fire breathe our nutrition. Some of us will, and sometimes we'll go up a level and then back down a level for a time period. Fire breathers, you're already tracking everything. You're meal prepping, sleeping, going to the gym consistently. You're considering supplementation like protein powder, casein, caffeine, creatine. You're analyzing your data regularly, and you're doing it for a purpose, for competition, for performance, for physique. We don't need to live here though, right? We can be here for a time and it can give us a lot of really awesome progress, but we don't need to live here. One note too, protein powders, awesome. Even the foundations level, RX level, it can get us to that macronutrient balance that we're looking for. I would rather you get it in whole food sources, right? But sometimes it's helpful. Okay, do we all have an idea of maybe where we are on the tracks, where we're starting, where we're going? So some of you are here and you're just here to get healthier and dial your habits back in. That's where I'm at. I'm trying to gain more muscle mass and get back my muscle post-baby. He ruined everything. But others of you are looking to lose weight, and that's okay too, right? Like I said, you're all on your own journey. But if your goal is to lose weight, you're gonna feel hunger. And we have to be able to live with that and be okay with that. We're not gonna be starving, but at the end of the night, you're gonna be sitting on the couch like, I could go for something more, but if we're meeting that principle number 1 of our calories are gonna determine that body weight, we have to be in a caloric deficit if we're looking to lose body weight. So we mitigate our midnight snacking with tea at night, just having something warm in your hands to fill your belly, watermelon or fruit, vegetables. We like fruit because it's sweet, so it kind of satisfies that sweet tooth. Brushing your teeth, brush, floss, mouthwash, and then go back and sit on the couch. Go for a walk. It's getting nice out. That's a great way to make sure you're not eating too much at dinner because you know you're going to go for a walk later. If it's in the house, you're going to eat it. It's just how it goes, especially on a nutrition challenge. Last night, Joe, I come out from whatever I was doing, and he had our son's yogurt-covered raisins in his hand. I've never seen him eat yogurt-covered raisins in his life. I don't think he really likes them, but we don't have any treats in our house because we're gearing up for the challenge. And so even those little things, I one time found myself eating like 2-year expired hot chocolate because I just was like, oh, I need something. So if it's in your house, you're gonna eat it. So I like to do grocery delivery or shop online, and they just put it in your cart so that when you're walking around Costco with your toddler, he can't point at the cookies and throw a fit until you give him the cookies, which is what happens to me. Don't take your toddler to Costco. Don't do it. Okay. I just want to demonstrate one more time the principles here. I know a lot of you are probably thinking, like, Kendra, you do this full time, you're in the gym all the time, of course you're meal prepping, of course you're meal planning. No, most of the time I'm running around with my head cut off, like our house is a disaster. I told you about my toddler throwing rocks at our neighbors. Like, our life isn't as easy when it comes to fitness and nutrition. It's still really hard for us too. So this is a lunch on the go, or a whole day on the go. So I had a spinach and egg white wrap from Starbucks. I had a honey almond milk flat white from Starbucks. My coworkers were going out to Panda Express, so I opted for veggies. And then their grilled teriyaki chicken actually has like 36 grams of protein in a serving. It's a really good macro choice. So at this point, I was at 63 grams of protein out of my 150 that I wanted to hit, 88 grams of carbs, and 27 grams of fat. And I had 1,200 calories left because I knew I was going to a summer barbecue that night, okay? So at the barbecue, I had a Blue Moon. I had some chips and guac. I had a turkey burger because I knew that that was the leaner option. And then I also enjoyed a chocolate chip cookie, okay? This is like my ideal meal. But because I had made those adjustments throughout the day, here's where I had ended up. So 1,800 calories, am I meeting principle number 1? Yes. Protein, 106 grams. I'm a little shy there. I have some calories left, so if I really wanted to, I could go home and have a protein shake to kind of bump that up a little bit. My carbs were in a good range as well in regards to my goal, and my fat was as well. But I'm still eating delicious things, and I can still enjoy life. So back to these 3 principles. The calories you eat or the quantity determines your weight. Check mark, I got that. The macronutrients you eat determines your body composition, your muscle mass. We want it to look good, to function well in the gym, to age well. Pretty good, right? We're not going for perfection here. The quality of your food determines your health. Honestly, for a day on the go, not the worst, right? At Starbucks, I probably could have added like a fruit cup or a banana. I probably could have doubled my veggies at lunch if I was feeling really, really hungry. Guac is a vegetable, avocado, or is it a fruit? Is it a fruit? Donnie's looking at me like, eh? Okay, it's a fruit. All right, tomato, is tomato a fruit? Gosh, what a horrible nutrition coach I am. It's fruit salad. And then I had veggies on my burger, okay? So pretty good quality overall. Okay. So that's our nutrition seminar. We're going to talk through the components of the summer shape up. We designed it with 4 components in mind. Knowledge, because knowledge is power. Data, because everything we do in here is repeatable and testable and measurable. So we're going to mimic that with our challenge. Accountability, because that's the hardest part when it comes to nutrition. If you can find someone in your household that will do it with you, that helps. If you can find a friend to do it with you, that helps. You'll be logging your points daily in SugarWOD. That'll help keep you accountable as well. And then some fun. So weekly challenges to earn extra points. Friends are doing the challenge with you. SugarWOD, I laugh at SugarWOD constantly at all the gifts you post. So I'm sure we'll have many of the same for the nutrition challenge. A little bit about the data we're going to collect. In the office, there is an InBody machine. It will measure your body fat and your muscle mass and your overall body weight. You can do that whenever you want, whether it's after this or before a workout throughout the week. Ideally, you're doing that before working out without eating and drinking too much. You use the restroom before. But the most important part is you mimic it the next time. Okay, so if you come for the 4:30 class on Monday and do the InBody scan this week, in 6 weeks you need to do the exact same thing because that's going to show that change, okay? The fitness test before and after is also going to be awesome. You're going to be able to see, hey, when I work hard outside of the gym and I focus on my nutrition, inside the gym is a lot more fun. I'm feeling good. I've got more power in the tank. These are not required, but also recommended. Take a picture in a swimsuit. Please do not send it to me. We're not going to do that. But I think it can be really helpful data. Sometimes on our journey, we are losing body fat and also gaining muscle. That's pretty common if you're new to CrossFit because your body's like, hello, it like wakes up. And so the scale won't move. Now the InBody will help us with that, but you could even see body composition changes without having those numbers move, okay? Things redistribute. You could take some measurements too. Taking a picture is awesome, especially when you get discouraged and you can kind of see like, hey, I am making some progress here, or hey, I'm not making progress here. I need to talk to Kendra about it, and we can troubleshoot from there. So you're going to be logging daily points in SugarWOD. You're going to get a point for hitting your protein target. I will send all of this out to you. That protein target is 0.7 grams of protein per pound of body weight to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. That's a lot of protein. I think Donnie does 1 gram per pound, right? It's a lot of protein. Yeah. 0.7 is going to get you there for sure. For some of you, that's going to be a huge jump. For others, you're going to be pretty comfortable there. So that's that protein recommendation. Again, the lean protein category. We have to be staying in that lean protein category for most of our protein choices. You're going to get a point for 600 grams of fruits and vegetables. So this comes into that quality of the food that you're eating, but this is also going to help you feel full. The 800 gram challenge is what E.C. Sinkowski runs, those pictures that I showed you. That's hard. It's really, really hard. We've done it before. So 600 grams, a little more doable, still hard. Start early in the morning, okay? And try your best to eat them in the full form. So try not to do a smoothie. It's not going to click in your brain the same way. Okay, especially if you're drinking it on the way to work. We want our brains to say, hey, I'm eating something. The work of chewing and eating an entire apple versus if you would blend it is much different, okay? I find apples incredibly annoying, but it's fine. Sleep, you have to sleep. Recovery, health, looking for 7+ hours a night. Working out, you get a point for that, either a workout in the gym or 30 minutes of outside time working out, and no junk. This is the point that is the most fun. It's a little subjective. And I had notes somewhere, and they have disappeared. So I'll do it from memory. No junk, meaning no Pop-Tarts, no brownies, no ice cream, no Blizzards, no McDonald's French fries, right? The heart behind the no junk point is that we are choosing foods that fuel our bodies and that push us towards health, and that's not going to take up a bunch of room calories-wise, okay? So here's an example. I love Costco Parmesan bagels, and I will frequently eat them for a sandwich during the day and have like 4 ounces of turkey on it, right? That is not junk for me. Maybe it is for you because you eat 5 bagels a day. It's a lot of bagels, good for you. But that's not junk for me. And so that's where I'm like, in the subjective zone. For Joe, maybe junk, he's gonna loop in alcohol, okay? That's not within the challenge. That's gonna be your choice. Some of us can have 1 beer, I did on my summer barbecue day, and be fine. The difficulty with alcohol is obviously it's gonna have calories, but then our inhibitions lose control, right? So we drink the beer, we eat more chips and guacamole, we have another beer, now we're really hungry, now we have the pizza, and we can just kind of get out of control in that manner. So again, subjective, you choose what's junk for you, and you can determine that. Okay. For those of you that are taking on the Summer Shape Up Challenge, we're gonna be logging points in SugarWOD. So when I get everything up and running, you'll download the SugarWOD app, log in, you'll click workout of the day here, and then you'll see, instead of workout, you'll see workout of the day, but you'll also see that Summer Shape Up track. You'll switch to that and be able to log your total points. And I'll have those points listed out so it'll be nice and easy for you. There's a $200 prize for the winner. The winner will be determined by percentage of change in your in-body test, percentage of change in your fitness test, and then your daily points. So we want you to be building in these healthy habits in order to earn the $200. Okay, so here's what's next, and I will take questions after this. You'll do your in-body scan. You can do it today. It's super easy. I don't need to be in there. No one needs to be in there with you. It walks you through it. You will put your phone number in as your ID. Your phone number is your ID, and then it will keep your data for you. The fitness test is on Monday in the gym. If you can't make it or you're not currently a Fireside member, you could drop in and do the test, or we'll have an at-home version as well. You'll need SugarWOD for daily points, and then I'll leave this up here. I need you to officially sign up. I need to make sure I have your name, an accurate email, and then an accurate phone number. Okay. Questions? Oh, the QR code too, when you scan that, it should take you to a Google form. I should have tested that. I meant to do that. Yay, okay. If you have like super specific questions or you're embarrassed about your question, you can put that in there and I will get back to you. But are there any like general questions about the 3 nutrition principles? Anything like that? Yeah, Colby?
Can you help us set like a macro goal?
Yeah.
I'm struggling with the macros.
Okay, yeah. So I think what we should do for Colby, for Beth, for anyone who wants to track all of their macros, is I want you to track 1 week, just like you're eating right now. Okay, perfect. So then we'll take a look at that. So you can email me that and we can take a look. Yeah. Macros can be tricky. Joe's macros, he loves fat, and so he has lower carbs, but keeps the protein. I love carbs, so I would rather have more carbs than fat. Joe likes to say I like 3 carb meals, like fettuccine Alfredo and a bread basket and like a Caesar salad. Oh, man. Any other questions? Feeling good? Cool. All right, y'all. Well, thanks for coming out. I'll be hanging around. I stayed pretty on top of my time, so I'm proud of myself. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask away. If you're officially getting signed up, make sure and scan that. We'll get some tunes bumping here.
Kendra?
Yeah.
To that top the page that had 3 columns of, it was like low fat, higher fat, and whatever the other, just like take a picture of it.
Yes.
Are you sending that information?
Yes, I will send you that information.
It's all coming in an email.
Yep, I will email it to you. Yep, absolutely. Yep.
Is the fitness test different? Can you do that in your regular workout?
It's Helen, right?
Yeah, it is the regular workout.
So it is the workout of the day on Monday. Yeah. Yep. Sorry.